Hey, upcoming juniors, this is a Q&A for tips on writing for when you enter AP English 11. So, we're gonna start.
So the first question that people usually get a lot is, what is harder to write, the first sentence or the last? Akina, what do you think about this?
I think the first sentence is always harder to write because you establish your topic, but the thing you're gonna argue really begins in the first paragraphs, therefore starting the first sentence.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you get the first sentence down, it's pretty easy to go off of that and just continue with your evidence and all that good stuff.
And for me, the first sentence is also the easiest the hardest, because it's not like you're just stating your argument, is you have to draw your reader in with something original and creative, and that's like the only part of your essay actually requires creativity other than your conclusion, but you haven't really gotten to the mode of writing yet, so it's usually more difficult in your last sentence.
Yeah.
Another question. Do you edit as you go along, or do you wait till the end?
I kind of wait to the end. My brain kind of works in a weird way where I need to get everything down on paper.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the easiest way. Like when you're writing, you just kind of want to plan ahead and try to get everything you want to say on paper. Then you go over it and like kind of edit and add in things that you want to put in. But I think it's like really important that you try to get down what you're trying to say before you lose it and you have to start over with the whole thinking process.
And honestly, you might not have much time to edit in your AP exam because you only get 35-40 minutes for an essay. So that's not a whole lot of time. You want to get as much evidence and words down as you can, so you might not have time to edit. So that's why it's safer to wait till the end instead of running out of time on your essay.
Okay, best advice you go about writing.
This song is not worded this well. Okay, so the best advice in writing is don't be cliche, because especially keep in mind these AP readers, they will have read hundreds of essays before you, likely, and they don't want to read just another cliche. Be different, because that's what's going to make you better in their mind.
My best advice would be don't spend too much time on one part of your essay, because as Austin said, you do have about 35 to 40 minutes, and the main thing you want to do is finish your essay. I mean, it'll be really messed up if you finish halfway through a body paragraph, so you just kind of want to get everything down. And I mean, even if you're still not sure what you want to write about, just try to get as far as you can. Try to get something down, because it kind of weakens your essay if you're kind of going halfway with things, so just kind of keep it moving.
So, the most common mistakes new writers make. I think that the most common mistakes new writers make is that they don't give analysis. They give you evidence, even good evidence, but then they leave the reader to make the connections, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You must have analysis. What do you think?
I think the common mistake people make, I think even with weak examples, because I feel like a lot of people can easily connect because people do watch a lot of movies and listen to a lot of different kind of music, but I feel like a lot of writers tend to use examples that relate to things that are fictional. So that kind of makes your essay a little bit weak because it's less relatable because you're kind of referring to fictional characters. And so I feel like it's easier to use personal experiences because it may even relate more to the reader.
So, any personal habits that you would suggest people take up?
Personal habits. I feel like just writing more in general, because I feel like you just can't write in the classroom, and even not even just writing essays. I just mean like writing like short poems or just any chance you get to write, just write and write with a purpose. I feel like even if you just try to work on analyzing things closer, you'll become stronger as a writer.
Another thing that I think you should definitely pick up if you want to be successful in AP English is that you need to read the news and keep up with current events, because that's where you get your evidence from for argument essays. Like, obviously I've used evidence from history class before, which is helpful, but you need current event knowledge to address these questions, and keeping the news is how you do it. So, the worst distraction from getting work done, what do you think?
Definitely technology. I know it's hard for me whenever I get home and I just want to check my notifications and all that good stuff, and you find yourself like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon still on your phone, I feel like that kind of holds you back from actually getting stuff done because you just want to be so connected with the outside world, and it kind of strays you away from doing your actual work.
Yeah. Same here. Like whenever, now there's not a whole lot of take-home essays for this class, but in other classes we'll have take-home essays. I just have to have my phone in a different room because or else I'll get on it and it'll take me 3 times as long. So there's that. So tools do you advise for new writers? Are any like special tools you can think of?
Tools you advise.
Have a decent eraser. Because you're going to erase and no one wants to read over all that. Because if you can't, it's just annoying.
Let's see. Tools. I don't know. That's all I can really think of is just manage your time. Just manage time, because time moves way faster than you actually think it does. And if you stay too focused on one thing, you're gonna be really behind. And not even just like on like writing the essay, just even getting your thoughts across. It's gonna be really challenging to try to stay on track.
So, what happens if you can't think of evidence for your argument essay? Obviously, you need evidence. What happens if you can't think of it?
Honestly, just personal evidence. And I mean, even some people, honestly, even if they can't think of personal evidence, they kind of think of like a hypothetical thing that could happen and try to make it seem like it was a personal kind of thing.
Oh yeah, because I mean, they can't. If it's personal evidence, they can't tell.
Right, they can't tell.
You can just lie about it, and they won't be able to know.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, as long as you have really good analysis, you can really pull off any kind of evidence. As long as it seems like it was true, then it'll work.
This is not saying that never use evidence.
Oh yeah.
Like, or invest like in time in looking at current events, because those are important and there are stronger evidence. You don't want to not have evidence, but if you can't have evidence, make up personal stuff.
Yeah.
So what evidence should you not use in writing?
I think you should try to just stay away from fictional things. I mean, sometimes if you have really good analysis, you can try to pull off something that you read from a book or like, and I'm not saying like you can't use poems and things that we use in class, because those actually do work well as evidence, as long as you can just support the evidence that you use.
Yeah, and like this is not AP literature. This is not an analyzing a piece of fictional work. This is real life argumentation skills, and you don't need to be using what essentially has not happened, because like I said, it's not happened, so you can't use that to justify any claim.
Right. Okay, so what can you do to improve your writing?
So best thing to improve your writing is, one, really focus on making sure that you have a good bit of analysis, and also just listen to the teacher. Actually listen to what Ms. Thomas or whoever your teacher is, look at their comments and see what you can gain from that, because they actually do know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like every comment that you see on your paper when you get back, that will really help you in the next essay. I mean, I promise your teachers aren't just trying to like put you down, like they're actually trying to make you a great writer. And honestly, listening to comments really improve your writing, because it helps you assess what you need to really work on, and it makes you a stronger writer, because next time you write, you'll be focusing on primarily those things.
Yeah. And last but not least, this is something I personally struggled with very hard at the year, is what is the point behind qualification and concession, and how do you do it? Now, concession is not, and qualification is not saying that, oh, here's a point that they have, they're completely right, and there's just nothing I can say against it.
Right.
It's addressing, yes, they have a valid point, but here's why it is either A, wrong, or B, not as important as my points.
Yeah. I feel like when you qualify, it addresses both sides. Like Austin said, it makes you seem like you aren't biased on the issue, and it makes you more knowledgeable on the subject, because I feel like when you go more positive or negative on an issue, people just kind of see like, oh, well, they don't think that there's another side to it, but there's always another side to an argument. So I feel like when you do that, people deem you more trustworthy as a writer, because they can trust that you do acknowledge that there are two sides.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, it's not you saying that they're right.
Yeah.
That's not at all what it is. In fact, it's basically you addressing part of their argument, but you have to address that they do have an argument.
Right.
All right. Anything else?
No, we're good.
Good luck next year. Next year.
Yeah. Hey, upcoming juniors. This is a Q&A on... You gotta stop looking at me. You gotta stop looking at me every time I say upcoming juniors. Oh, hi.
Okay, do that again.
Hello, upcoming juniors. This
One
is
second.
a video.
You do it.
Hello, upcoming juniors. This is a writing workshop.
Why are you
Hello, upcoming juniors. This is a video about writing. Hope you enjoy it.
Let's get going.
So we
All
made questions to help you guys out when you are juniors and decide to take AP English. Good luck. Anyways,
So the first question, most obvious that people usually get, is what's harder to write, the first sentence or the last? Akina, what do you think?
you know, I didn't go over this question.